baby. Oh, geez. All right. So hopefully you guys can hear me coming through now. Just goes to show 10 years in the game and technology issues still happen. How about that? For all the time and for the audio to actually crash is at the launch of the 10-year anniversary show. Thanks, technology. Appreciate you. But thank you and welcome to this little, I don't even know what it's going to be. Just decided to get on here. Today is the official 10th anniversary of being here on YouTube. So I figured I'd do a little celebration there, a little look back, a little rambling, probably a little thank you to all of you out there. Shout out to Shane in the house. Cheers, my friend. Great to see you, brother. And yeah, that audio was crazy that it kind of broke up on me there. Shout out to Trez as well. Cheers, my friend. Great to see you, brother, as well. Let's get into that weather, Trez. Time to get together and grab a couple cigars. You know what I'm saying? I know you know what I'm saying, but yeah, we need to get out there and smoke a couple. I actually picked up a couple from Jungle Gyms earlier this weekend that you may have seen on the video. And thank you, Shane. Congratulations on the 10 years. Appreciate that. Boy, it doesn't feel like 10 years, but time does definitely fly through. 10 years. No, didn't unmute. It was taking the system crash. So leave it up to a Microsoft program or whatever to actually crash when you actually need it to actually come through and work. But our backup live now. Actually going to crack open a beer, kind of take a little look back over the 10 years. And how crazy is that been on here that long. One of those things too, when I started it originally, if you just said, are you gonna do it for like 10 years? I probably would have been like, I don't know, maybe. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, it would have been far off down the line, but to think of starting 10 years ago and the people I've seen that have come through and the people that have left, the people that are still here. Talked about it last week. So 10 years in YouTube years, that's like 20 or 30 years of just everything else, I think. You really get stressed out over that period. Shout out to UCB. Thank you, my friend. Great to see UCB. Has been a longtime supporter as well. And yes, Trez, we would definitely grab those cigars and grab some good beers too. We got Gnarly in the house. Cheers, Gnome. Great to see you. Appreciate that, my friend. Another Cincinnati YouTube blogger, beer journalist here in town. If you haven't checked out Gnarly Gnome, make sure to check him out too. He's always got some great stuff. And Monday night is usually the night where he'll be live streaming as well. I did get a chance to make it down to Bachfest. I ended up doing some other things and got sidetracked. And then by the end, I was like, do I want to go out and deal with any crowds or people right now? I kind of just kick back and relax. So I didn't make it down there for that. I saw a lot of good stuff. I will be picking up some of the Bachfest beers from around town, though, because I do like a good Bach. But for those of you not familiar, here in Cincinnati, it was Bachfest this past weekend. So great time, I'm sure, had by all. I'm actually going to crack open one that I picked up, again, at Jungle Gyms, if you saw the video. And it's one I do have the review for this actually in the files. I just haven't uploaded it yet. But I ended up going to Jungle Gyms and couldn't pass up on it. So it's the Boss Tweed double dry hopped. And they actually had these there at $4.99 a 4-pack. So it's actually just 2 months old. So still within that window, but I figured I'd drink through these between this week and next week probably. So for $4.99, it's like the Godfather made an offer I couldn't refuse, right? So I had to go ahead and grab that there. Always love the Boss Tweed. Always love Old Nation on the beers they're putting out. Always pretty solid overall on their stuff. But yeah, going back 10 years, seen a lot, done a lot. It's so funny because now I feel like 10 years in, I'm starting to really make a lot more of the key inroads, so to speak. And this year, it was awesome to go to the Ohio Craft Beer Conference. First time I had done that. Upcoming with my first time going to CBC, the National Craft Brewers Conference that'll be taking place in Indianapolis. Going to actually be speaking at one of the local universities here, myself and Adam from Adam Makes Beer, talking about social media and marketing to one of the brewing classes upcoming in a couple of weeks. So it's been, like I said, it's been a good year for beer, for me getting more involved in this stuff. And for those that are just starting on that grind, I mean, it takes a while. So you put it out there and you definitely have times during the course of building your channel, wondering if you want to keep doing it, wonder if you're doing the right thing that you wanted to do, wonder why people are watching or not watching, things along those lines. And a lot of YouTubers you'll hear talk about the imposter syndrome, which does take place for a lot of us. You know, you're doing it because, you know, you're out there providing authority. And then you, at some point, you're like, who am I to provide authority, really? And, you know, things build up over time. As you actually do it, you get out of that. But for those of you that might be in those early stages, it's one of those things where you have to stay the course and believe in yourself and to make things happen. And funny, looking back on a few of the other things I was going through stuff, like, what do I want to share? So one of the things I've never really went back and watched it as much. And for those of you that have the channels, how often do you go back and you watch that first video you actually put out there on the internet, right? So I decided to pull that up here. If you haven't seen it, I mean, this was, it was rough. It was rough. It was rough. And I even had like skills on how to do presentations and all that, but it's not the same when you first get into YouTube. So figured I'd probably pop that up here and share that with you guys here. Also, for this week, a lot of stuff actually happening. So tomorrow we will actually have the big discussion around tariffs and beer with me and also with Dave from Beer in Front. So that should be, get myself off the back and take a look at what I'm going to say the first video I ever did when I launched YouTube back March 10th of 2015. I've never actually watched it myself, like I said, but then to watch it here in company, that's kind of interesting. But let's check out a little bit of that here. Going to pull it up and start to play. Today, we're going to take a look at a beer that will be considered one of the Marzen or Oktoberfest styles. That beer, 1906. Look how bad the graphics are, right? Like back then, like the whole yellow screen, which was common for a lot of people back then. Didn't really know about lighting, didn't know all that kind of stuff. So you got that like yellow glow and everything taking place. But the beer that I got for this one was a phenomenal one. It was 1906 Reserva Special. It was actually from Spain. This was one of the first, well, actually for the channel, this was the first Rod J deal, because this is one I got a case for $12.99. Yeah, first Rod J deal ever provided on YouTube. 6 Reserva Special. Don't know if you've had this before, if you've seen it. It actually comes to us from Spain. It carries an ABV of 6.5%. And then the audio was kind of mixed there as well. So these are kind of things that are rough at first, but these are the things you look at to try to improve as you go along, right? Taking a look at the ingredients: water, barley malt, maize, and hop. Not hops, but hop. So even the humor was a little stale. I'll admit it. It was a little stale on the humor. I'll give them that. Those would make up the ingredients for this beer. This one is actually brewed by Hios de Riviera. Oh, I butchered that, I know. They are from out at the 6.5%. You know, it is developed from roasted malts and has an aromatic balancing that allows it to produce a special color, aroma, and flavor. At least that's how it's described for everything being involved on it. But when you get one of the bottles, it is 11.2 ounces. I know we're always used to 12-ounce bottles, but it's 11.2. And go ahead and pop this baby open and we'll put it in a glass. And let me scroll down here as well. So this one was launched back then, and I think now, I don't think it shows on here. Where was I looking at for the number of? Yeah, 335 views. That was over a 10-year period, but for a while, it was stuck down there in views and stuff. And it was like starting out, you're like, come on. But, you know, that's why you got to stick with it. So if you're putting videos out there, you're not seeing views, you got to give it time. I'm going to scroll ahead here, get the pour. Take a look at how it rises. One thing noticeable about this beer is you're not going to get a lot of head on it usually. Usually you might get one finger there. So, and it does dissipate a little quicker. I think it might have to do with some of the way they actually brew the beer. But if you take a look, you can see the carbonation. That does look pretty, doesn't it? Yeah, it's got that nice golden orange color, kind of something you would expect on a Marzen or an Oktoberfest. The aroma on it, it was definitely kind of rough. I'm getting some of that feedback audio, and the reason I kind of wanted to share that out there was just like, if you're new and you're starting out, just keep doing what you're doing, because things are going to improve as you actually go. But we all start from somewhere. So if you haven't gone back and look at some of your first videos, I say go back and do it and just see where you're at in comparison, because I think you'll be pleased with the steps you're moving forward. Did I lose audio again, Shane? Or did it cut out? It should be working right now. Let me see here. If this might be messing up with my voice mod. If you're not hearing me, let me know. Well, I don't know if you did. If I just said that, but like you can't hear me, you wouldn't know I just said that as well. But anyway, all right. But Shane, there we go. Who was that guy? Yeah, that was really like, that was 10 years back, and I'm not going to say how many LBs back as well, but that was when the journey first started. Hello to Vanessa in the house as well. I was expecting the Oscar Gamble afro. I have not had that for a long time, although that was probably that may be the first only video I didn't wear a hat for, actually, because usually I have the ball cap on when I'm actually doing stuff now. Let's see here. What he's saying. Hello. First day of new classroom always brings sunrises to learn from, right? Yeah, I mean, doing that first one and going back and seeing the difference at where you're at down the line. Dave BeerVentures just did his 5-year. Shane's got his 5-year upcoming. It's just fun to go back and take a look sometimes. Although, like I said, I waited to almost 10 years to do it, but see along the way the steps you've actually made. It was during the thumbnails you put up earlier. Yeah. Oh, okay. So when the thumbnails came up, it cut out. Okay. Well, that's kind of interesting that it actually did that. Thank you, Vanessa. Appreciate that as well. Bring surprises. Yeah, when you go back and look at stuff. So, but it's been fun, and I think about all the different stuff that we'd actually done for the different people we've seen along the way, and now even some of the people who were lost along the way, right? So when I got into it, it was watching stuff like Greg, who's not here anymore, Greg's Beer Reviews. Kevin was pretty popular from Clement Home Beer Review, but Kevin was a fan favorite. More recently, although it was a younger type stint, you had BC. From BC's Beer Reviews, who actually passed last year. So you don't have to be in it for a long time before you get missed as well. And then seeing some of the people that had kind of that burnout that took place, which is a hard thing. I mean, I've been through times when I questioned if I wanted to keep doing the channel and got a little burnout. And really, it was because of all you that watch and support that kind of make it fun for me to actually do that. And I actually had a few people that were like some of the newer beer type people that reached out and actually ended up lifting me up some because they said I was providing inspiration for them to start their channel, which was awesome too. So things like that is why I keep going and why I keep trying to put some good stuff out there and keep bringing you guys all the good beer stories and all the good beer news that I can actually find. And that'll be one thing that'll be upcoming more of that I think you'll see on the channel. I'll still have the different beer reviews that are coming up, but you may see some of the beer reviews kind of go into maybe not the back burner, maybe a second or third burner on the stove, but things like the tariff story that I did or other beer news things taking place, you'll probably see more of that stuff start to become more prominent. I just want to be able to share more of those things that are happening out there. I really enjoy putting those stories together and bringing them to you guys as well. So the interviews with all the breweries, you'll see a lot more brewery folks that I'll be bringing on as far as other people throughout the industry in different spots. So make sure to be able to tune in for that. So that'll probably be more live streams that I'll be having to come in so we can get more interaction with everything. But I said, find your channel. When I had to use YouTube during my master's in math, there's been 8 years ago when I received it. Oh, wow. So you put 8 years? Woo. That's awesome, Vanessa. Sound a horn on that one there. Yeah. So I don't know how long everybody's actually been watching for the channel, but 8 years is awesome. I think Todd is around 8 or 9. We were trying to figure out when he started like watching stuff. We were talking the other day. You might be one of the longer viewers too, Vanessa, that has been with the channel. I know like there were some obviously like Craig from Kemp Beer Reviews. Me and him started really close together. Dean from Dean's Beer Reviews. I think Dean is about to hit 10, which is another great channel. Northern and Southerner Beer Reviews. John over in the UK just hit 10 earlier this year, so he was a few months ahead of me. So another great channel to also check out there too. I guess when I put that pickup, David just sent me a message. When I put the pickup on the other stream, it kind of did something to the sound. So might be some conflicts that are taking place with that. So I didn't really check it out too much ahead of time before going live. So good to know that might be an issue within the system itself. And then Vanessa, congrats to Shane as well on his channel. Thanks, Vanessa. 5-year episode in 2 weeks. Looking forward to it. Began a master in 2014, received a degree September 2017. Yeah, and I remember when you were going for the master's back then as well. Well, you got the numerous degrees as it is, Vanessa, but I remember when you were doing that one too. Shout out to Samson. Thank you, my friend. Cheers. Samson's been around for a while too, watching the channel. So I appreciate all you guys, all you longtime viewers that have been watching. And, I mentioned Trez has been here for a good amount of time. I knew Trez before I even lost the channel, but I don't know if Trez knew. I don't think Trez, you knew off the bat when I lost. I think you might have came on a little bit later, but we used to work together back in the day too. So, yeah, so it's been fun. It's been good. Hopefully everybody that watches has been really enjoying themselves. And if there's things, I always say, if there's stuff you want to find out more about beer that I'm not covering, to always let me know, hit me up with some comments, and I can do some other type stuff or get some other people on from the beer world to share stuff. Last week, having Aaron on here was awesome, talking about the tech around beer. And Aaron will actually be joining us tomorrow night when we do the tariff show as well, that live stream. So me, him, and Dave, and then we'll have other people, and then some video already recorded. And then I know we might have a couple people that might join us too from talking with Dave. So we'll get that stuff all situated. But yeah, so yeah, I'm just pumped to be actually still going, and appreciate all that you guys have been watching and been supportive of out there. So without you guys, I wouldn't be here. So I really appreciate you. But curious, like I said, if there's other stuff you want to see, like what stuff do you think you would like to see more of that maybe I'm not covering as far as like beer type things? What things would be good to bring to the channel? Are there certain other styles or certain other discussions I want to have around beer or things along those lines? Let me know, chime in with the comment here or shoot me a message. As I start to develop more of the material, definitely want to bring some good things that are definitely worthwhile for sure. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't really have a set agenda. Just wanted to get on here and kick it for a little bit and thank everybody, and look forward to the upcoming stuff that will be actually taking place here with the channel. If anybody's drinking anything out there, let me know what you guys are drinking as well. But this double dry hop boss tweed is oh so nice and going down oh so easy. Might have been because it was a long day at work too. Beer can do that after a long day of work. Just go down a little too easy. But, going back over the years, I think like the first hangouts we actually had back then, I think Crunch might have been the first hangout we actually had done back in the day. What did I say? Woodard, lots of Woodard, still beating the months. Oh no, we'll definitely keep fighting that. Keep drinking the fluids. The first live stream done on the channel was actually 9 years ago, I think. That was, my thing works here. Let's see. Put it in order. Yeah, February of 2016. So almost a full year later before I did the first live stream. And that was actually when I had Crunch on here. Crunch was the first co-host of going live streams. When we were doing the old craft beers going wild type stuff. And those were the days of the hangout days, right? That was when it was like the wild, wild west on stuff. It was just all kind of crazy. Let's see if I can pull one of those up here. Pull up that first live stream. But that thing was definitely a mess. Let me see if I get to play here. Hopefully I don't lose sound again here. And some other areas. So we'll see if some people kind of pop in here. Last time we had some people that did show up, so it'd be kind of interesting to see.
Well, all right. Well, welcome to Two Beers on a Wednesday and stuff. I'm Crunch Kretschmar here in Chicago.
Hey, Rod J here in Cincinnati.
All right, and all right,
Cool.
Rod.
So the initial setup when we did the first live stream was there was no setup. Kind of winging it there, as you could probably notice, and it was actually Crunch just because he was the one that got in my mind to go ahead and do it. Like he reached out to me. He was up in Illinois and came up with the idea of us putting it together, and that kind of launched the whole live stream. Just going to leave him for work soon. Oh yeah, you do got to head in tonight, Shane. Well, that's a good thing. It'll be a replay. You can always catch up on the YouTube after. Have fun at work though. And so like he approached me about kind of doing it, and I was like, okay, we'll give it a shot or whatever. Then we got out there and we launched the first hangout from the channel.
It was your week to pick, and so what two bad boys did you pick out this week?
So this week we're taking a look at two actually pale ales, but we're going to have two in comparison. We're going to have the Palm Special. I don't know if it's Special or Special, however they pronounce it.
It's Special.
And then we're going to have the Dell's Pale Ale.
Right.
I was such a novice back then.
That will be the other beer.
And look at that. Google was still screwing up back in the day as well.
Now I did a little review thing on the Dale Pale Ale. I had that I would say about 4 months ago.
Okay.
I tried that one out, and so I like to go ahead and be a good refresher for me to remember about that.
Sure.
So that'd be good.
Now that's not me freezing on the computer. That was actually from the old Google Hangouts back then. And for those of you that remember that, it was definitely clunky at points. Let's go ahead here a little bit.
And stuff. So I think you're
saute beans with it. Oh. I like to cook as well.
Tune in tomorrow when Rod is grilling. All right. So now let's head up to the Dale's Pale Ale.
Oh, brother, hold on 1 second.
Crunch was running ahead there a little bit.
This is a little bit more orangey golden as compared to the caramel. Now this is the Palm, and this one here with the red lion on there,
right.
And then the other one there. So you'll see that this one here is a little lighter, a little bit more orange, a little bit more citrusy looking as compared to the Palms, which is a little bit more caramel, a little bit more golden. Looking on there, a little bit more rustic.
Yeah, I would say this is more of a golden sunset, golden orange type sunset color. And this is where we start to see the difference between between the Belgian Pale Ale and an American Pale Ale. As I mentioned earlier, you start to see a little bit. You look at the clarity we had on the first one to this one. Now you pick up like that chill haze that's on there.
Right.
A little more of a cloudiness, and that's where the Americans really started.
So we had some fun dissecting some of the beers back in the day as well. It was all new terminology for me at the time, Dave. I was trying to figure out a lot of stuff to actually say. It's what comes to the mind, right? It's being authentic. It's just whatever comes to the mind there. Thank you, my friend Alan. Cheers to you as well. One Flight Down in the house. Another great channel. If you haven't checked out Alan, make sure to check him out. He was the one that brought the beer that I just talked about last week from Winnipeg. Awesome beer. The Chaos Monsters were my addiction for a time. Yeah. Hey, what's up, JT? Cheers. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that as well. Cooking is always good. Yeah, you talk about the cooking. We talk about the cooking and with the beer and stuff like that back as well. Because there's a lot of things you can do there. Whether you're cooking and drinking a beer or you want to cook with the beer, there's a lot of opportunities to bring them both together. But that was the live stream that kind of launched the live streams that became, what we're kind of sitting in today from some of the live streams on the channel. But we used to also have some crazy live streams too when we used to have like a ton of people on there. If y'all remember those days when you'd have like a full house. And let me see if I have one of those here. And that has kind of led to one of the reasons why I've kind of tempered down on how many people I might actually have on at a time, because at a point you couldn't even hear anybody talk, or even sometimes even yourself think. What was this one here?
The number of the great Joe Montana, and also 16 happens to be the number of games that NFL plays in a regular season. So we're at a milestone because this week's episode happens to be, what is it, Mr. Rod? That you
Crunch was always a good sound-by-sound play guy for sure.
think?
Tailgate beers.
That's right. So we're going to go ahead and throw on our jerseys, watch the Bears beat the Cleveland Browns tonight, and celebrate another great season of football here. And for those of you that are in your fantasy football and stuff, good luck with all of those, because I know I'm bringing home the big check this year.
Did you have your draft yet?
Oh, yeah, we started that up already.
Who was your first pick?
We got our party going on here. The first one that I went ahead and picked was, where's my sheet?
Oh, you don't remember your first pick? Come on.
No, I actually have a filed out.
You use auto draft. You use auto draft.
Oh, I write it all down.
Start to wonder if Crunch actually took a kicker that year.
It all down. Old school. So,
Oh, you got out the tablet, huh?
but I'm looking this year, so I was actually kind of excited about it starting up this year.
Yeah.
So, all right. So
let's go ahead and jump up. Let's get some. So here's some people you may have seen around, right? So let's see here.
But yeah, all in all, it's very good. I'm going to stick with my 3.8 and enjoy this, especially in the tailgates when we're going to be playing that Cincinnati Bengal team. I will be enjoying.
That's okay, because I'm a Carolina Panther fan, but
Which I was at the time.
but I'll root for the Bengals. Booze is in the house. What's going on, man?
Good evening, folks. Sorry about that. I had my neighbor come over and tell me.
So somebody get me Dan, Western Canadian Reviewer, on. I'm sure he would love to see himself from back here 8 years ago.
That her tub is leaking, so it's like, great. All right, I'll watch for water.
Yeah, I was gonna say you were on Canadian time, so.
So we're always fashionably late and saying "hey" all the time. Sorry about that.
Well, go ahead and introduce yourself. Then we'll have you talk about your beer.
Yeah.
All right. So tonight, as you know, I'm Booze Reviews, Painkiller from Booze Reviews, or Dan from Booze Reviews, depending on what you want to call me. Just don't call me late. Oh wait, I was. Anyway.
And he's on every Thursday night.
Don't worry, I don't charge for admission either.
Dan coming in with the fire. You ever checked out Dan, Western Canadian Reviewer? He's actually a guy I'm still surprised hadn't got over the 1,000 level. So make sure to show him some love up there in Canada too. He's been doing some great beers. He's been on longer than I have here on YouTube. So great guy, always some great content.
So tonight I actually went and picked up a beer from my local beer store because we've got a whole bunch of new breweries showing up, as you found out last time.
Mm-hmm.
This one is from a brewery called Cold Garden. They have not got a brewery set up yet, so they're still brewing. I think they're brewing out of somewhere. I don't exactly know where. I've got to look them up. But I had to have this because I love my porters. I love my stouts. So this is their Cappuccino Vanilla Porter.
Wow.
And
We're all about the effects tonight, gentlemen.
I noticed. All right. Is there a wah 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 in there too?
I'm going back to beer cruise.
Mexican beer. No.
Only from the deep south you'll hear that.
So really, how can you not do this for a long time when you have such fun with these guys, right? So you just saw another one in there too. We had Eric in there from Thomas Metal. So you can scroll down here to get him here too. He's been doing it for a while
More
now.
matte, British kind of a bitter style. It's it debuted in 1935 from Pabst, and then in 1937 they reformulated the recipe to what it is supposed to be now, and they recommend on the back of the can that you open the can, you pour it into a tankard, which is sort of like a pewter mug.
Oh yeah,
See that, and then you hoist with friends. But yeah, it definitely it's got a darker look to it than either the Boston Lager.
Who remembers all those Sammy Adams glasses used to be everywhere back in the day?
Or even that Fat Tire that Crunch had. In the light, it definitely got more of a ruby, sort of mahogany kind of tinges to it and colors to it. It's got a fairly, along the lines of a khaki or white kind of style head there. It's got a lot of carbonation. Again, that's from the etching in the glass. The smell's got those British kind of malts and fruity aromas to it. It's definitely got that. It's got a light woodsy, sort of a real ale kind of a feel to it. It's definitely got some of the spice qualities, an herbal spice of some kind.
Yeah, so with Eric, if you haven't checked out Thomas Metal, check it out. But that was the whole fun thing because there were so many people that were getting started doing stuff. We were able to share so many different people doing it. The cool thing about the whole beer thing is people telling stories in their own way. So it's their own way they're breaking down stuff, which makes it fun. Roscoe in the house. Oh, Disco's in the house. Cheers, Disco. Congrats on the decade. Good numbers, 10-10. Cheers. Thank you, my friend. And happy, to you, Tuesday morning to you because it's Monday night here. So, but great to have you on board up late over there. Evening, friends. I'm pretending to be Catholic and I've given up beer for Lent. Now, I don't think you've given up beer, JT, for Lent. That'd be tough for you to do that. Technically, beer is probably the safest thing to drink back in the church's early days. Yeah, well, during the plague days and stuff too, right? When you really couldn't drink water at that time because it was probably contaminated. Let's see, the Winnipeg. Thinking the color of the Easter eggs, all gold this year. Well, there you go. And so glad you gave up on the Panthers, right? I did give up on the Panthers after a point there when I kind of really stopped watching football a few years back. But I was on their board for a long time. I was a fan of with Sam Mills. We actually went there from New Orleans, so I was a big fan of Sam Mills, JT, and I like John Fox as a coach, and Steve Smith was just like a warrior. So yeah, I became a fan of the team over the years. They got to Super Bowl once, but couldn't pull it off though. But it is what it is. But so it's just interesting over the years going back and seeing some of the footage here and seeing all different people, and then now we have the evolution where you have like shorts and all kind of stuff, and it's kind of changed again what YouTube has to offer. But it's been a great experience and just the fun that we've actually had over the years, and to take it and kind of speed up, going from that stuff in the beginning to where you get to a point that you get to meet everyone, right? You get to meet folks that you've been celebrating beer with for so long. If I can find it here, which makes it great when everybody all gets together. And where is it at? May, June, July. It's a problem when you got 2,000 plus videos trying to find the right one. I'm trying to find. Oh, it wasn't a live. That's why. Okay, that's what's throwing me off there. Which made it all that much more fun when we did something like, get together in Ontario, which was awesome. So take this off of here. I've really got too many screens that are open. But it's like you fast forward to now, all these wonderful people, because of YouTube, brought us together with such a great opportunity. And that's where the payoff really is. It's just the relationships, the fun, the things built just from this silly YouTube channel, right? And then we all got to get, none of us would have ever met before without being able to build the stuff that we built on YouTube. But this like here was like one of the more epic times just to put so many faces with the names and just to have the fun that we actually had. Who would have thought by you people making these 3-minute, 2-minute, 1-minute, 5-minute, 20-minute, whatever, how many minute videos that you'd be able to basically embark into a whole new world. So yeah, why we were all there and we got to drink and we got to toast each other. I just want to say toast to all of you that have supported the channel over the years, and it would be awesome at one point to be able to have a great drink with all you guys. We were fortunate to do it there, but always looking to hopefully meet up with a lot of you. I've been able to have drink with a few of you in person. Dee Dee, we've had beers. Bart, we've had beers, and I know a lot more of you we will over the years as well. Trez and everybody. So just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to all you guys that have watched and supported, and appreciate all you here with the channel. And here's to the next steps that are upcoming here. And thank you there, Baked Junks. Appreciate you. Yeah, 10 years. It's been a run. It's been a run, and it's been great. JT started following in the summer of 2017. Okay, so you were there 7.5 years, basically. Go Kings, go. Niagara Falls. It was so much fun, such a blast. Cheers, Daniel. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you for raising the glass. I got to fill up another glass, so I raised one there with you as well. See, even the best taste professional hard pours. Well, with that style of it being a beer, you do hard pour with that one to get the carbonation out for sure. But I see what you're trying to do there, Shane. I'm not going to say I agree with you, but I see what you're trying to do. But thank you for everybody that tuned in. I really don't have much more, I guess, to really say on here, but I look forward to bringing you guys some more great things. Again, don't forget, tomorrow we'll be live again here. We'll be doing the deeper look into the whole tariff thing, but then the other Body by Beer podcast Wednesday, and then come back Thursday night, and I'm sorry, Friday night. So used to saying Thursday, where the new happy hour live stream will actually be. That being said, I'll go ahead and sign off and return you to your regularly scheduled programming. Cheers, everybody.